All right, everybody, am I live? There we go. How's it going today? Let's see. Anybody here? All right. Well, in case you don't know me, my name's Lee, and for those of you who showed up, thank you very much. I appreciate having you. And we got a few things to talk about today. So, I'm going to be hanging out and going over some fantasy football stuff. I'm also going to be answering trade questions. So if you have any trades that you're thinking about making, or anything like that, go ahead and drop them in the chat. Try and make sure to include what size your league is, and what other players you have, either starting or on your bench. Let me know if you need wide receivers, running backs, things like that when you're making these trades, so I can give you a better idea of whether you should do it or not, who's going to win the trade, and I'll help you out as best as I can. One of my biggest goals is to help people win their league, and I love each and every one of you. All right. So, starting off, I want to go ahead and kind of go over the Davante Adams to the Jets trade. I think everybody's heard about that. If you haven't, you're living under a rock. It broke today. This is the best time to be watching for players and opportunities when they're going to different teams week 7, week 8 before the NFL trade deadline, because big moves happen. Big moves happen during the deadline, right before the deadline. They just always do. And Davante Adams to the Jets this year is probably the biggest one. So Aaron Rodgers, we already know, was looking to get Davante Adams to New York with him, and he seems to really be pushing to want to go to a Super Bowl. And I don't know if this is going to do it for him, but this move is going to help. It's absolutely going to help. It's also going to help Davante Adams. So Davante Adams, instead of having people like Jimmy Garoppolo and Gardner Minshew throw to him, he's going to have his old buddy Aaron Rodgers. And I'm not sure if you've heard of him, but he's in a different tier than those guys. So he's going to be putting the rock up to Davante Adams now, and that's going to help him in fantasy football leagues no matter what. Davante Adams, I would probably put him as a low to mid wide receiver 1 in just about any league. And moving on to the next big trade that dropped today, almost back to back, was Amari Cooper to the Bills. And a lot of people, I think, are underestimating what Cooper is going to be able to do. No. Is he in the same tier and bracket as guys like Justin Jefferson? No. No. He's not Justin Jefferson. He's not CeeDee Lamb. Nothing like that. But I would put him probably as my wide receiver 10 or 11 for the rest of the season moving forward, going to the Bills. Now, it might not happen right off the bat. There's going to be a little bit of a time where Josh Allen and Amari Cooper are going to be trying to find a connection. I think Amari Cooper has been to a lot of different teams. He started off with the Raiders. He went to the Cowboys. The Cowboys sent him to the Browns. So he's worked with a lot of different quarterbacks before. And he's got a pretty good idea of how to develop a connection with a new quarterback. So he could produce right off the bat. But I would give him a week or two if that's who you want to pick up. I would trade for him now. Because once he starts producing, he's hands down the wide receiver 1 in Buffalo. And he's going to have Josh Allen throwing to him. He's going to produce. He's going to win you some games in fantasy and in real life. And that's going to help open up things for people like James Cooks, the running back. It's going to make him easier to run because you have a legitimate receiving threat now. And not people like Khalil Shakir or Coleman. He's in a completely different tier than those guys, for sure. Even at his age, even if you want to say he's regressing, he's going to produce more than those guys, for sure. I wanted to get to some buy low candidates, people that you could probably pick up fairly cheap. And some of those being, a couple of people have talked about these before, but I want to go ahead and throw them out in case you haven't heard about them. CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb is probably the number one buy low target in the NFL right now. A lot of fantasy owners are panicking about him because he's not putting up games that are over 20 points. Now, I would go ahead and pick him up. I have him in my fantasy league, and I'm not letting him go for anything. And a lot of that's because of his schedule moving forward. He is undoubtedly a top 3 wide receiver in this league, no matter what you want to think about him. He was wide receiver 1 in fantasy last year. And it's not going to be that different. I promise you that, especially if the defense is bad. One of the biggest reasons I would keep holding on to him is because of his matchups going forward. So we got the bye week this week in week 7. So you're going to have him for every game moving forward. Unlike other receivers who have bye weeks after this week, you're going to have him for every single game. So he's going to be putting points up for you every single week for the rest of the season. That's one big bonus. The other big bonus is his remaining schedule. So, yeah, we're going to go to San Francisco, who has a pretty good defense. We're going to go see Atlanta. They got an all right defense. Then we're going to go see Philadelphia twice. We're also going to play against Houston. They're all right. Washington, we're going to play them twice. He's going to torch the Eagles and the Commanders. He always does. You got the Giants. They're probably the best team in the division defense-wise. They have a pretty good defense. What did he do against the Giants earlier this year already? I'll tell you what, he had his best game of the season. He put up 20.1 points. Now that'll do. I'll take that. That's wide receiver one production for sure. You got Cincinnati. Cincinnati is they're all right. They're not great. They're not bad. Carolina, not great, not bad. And then you finish off. He's going to be a championship winning wide receiver for you this year. And that's because of his remaining 3 games. He's got Tampa Bay, Philadelphia, and Washington. Now, if you plan on being in the championship, in the playoffs, in your fantasy league, this is definitely a guy you're going to want to have on your roster because those are soft defenses. And defenses can change throughout the year, but CD Lamb is great regardless. Putting him against a soft defense, it's exceptional. You absolutely pick up CD Lamb. That's why everybody's talking about him. Look at his remaining schedule. Look at his production. Another one, Tyreek Hill. Now, we don't know when Tua's coming back, but I think what you assume when Tua comes back is that they are going to be the same team that they were when he was there before he went down. Now, what that means is Tyreek Hill is going to be wide receiver 1 or wide receiver 2 for the rest of the year. I believe he's already had his bye. He did. He's already had his bye week, so you're going to have him for every single game once again. Tyreek Hill is one of those people who can absolutely bust open any matchup that you got going on. He can win you plenty of fantasy games throughout the year. That's 100% who I would want on my roster, and that's exactly why I went to go trade for him. I don't know when he's coming back, but when he does, he's going to produce, and I want him on my team. Somebody else, so some news came out about Cooper Kupp, and you might not be able to get him that cheap anymore, but if you can, I would go ahead and put the trade requests out there. Cooper Kupp, his first game of the season, I think he put up like 25 points. He had, I think it was like 14 receptions on 21 or 22 targets. It's a huge target share. Even when Puka Nacua comes back, he's still going to be your primary. And he's going to produce for your team. He's going to win you games. There's no doubt about it. There's no way around it. And then give me one moment. And we're going to get to a couple of buy lows that I don't hear anybody talking about at all. That's exactly why I wanted to do this live stream, was to discuss some of the things that I've noticed that maybe I'm ahead of the curve. Maybe I can help you be ahead of the curve. All right. So those couple of people that I don't see anybody talking about for being buy low candidates are Jalen Hurts and Kyle Pitts. Now, I know pretty much everybody's out on Kyle Pitts, and I'll get to him. There's reasons why I think he's going to break out. And Jalen Hurts has sort of underperformed as far as everybody thought he was going to do. He has not performed to that level. So I don't blame people for being out on him, but what I see is that trend is absolutely going to change. Now, A big reason that he hasn't been able to produce is because A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith went out. And a big reason why he wasn't able to produce the way that he has in the past. I'm going to go ahead and pull him up here. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at what he's done this season so far. He's put up 1842, 2482. That was his best game of the season. That's pretty good. That'll do. Then you got 11.94. That's pretty bad. And you got 1632. That ain't going to do it. Not for somebody that you want to start consistently week to week and win you games. And I understand why a lot of people are panicking on him. At Cleveland, he put up 21.86. Now, he's got his receivers back. You're going to keep seeing him produce. And he's going to produce more. And he's going to get rushing touchdowns. He's got that rushing upside that not many other quarterbacks in this league have. So if you're in a league where you're getting 4 points per passing touchdown, he's got to be a top 3, top 4 quarterback in your league moving forward, especially because of his remaining schedule. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. How much green is that? Green is money, guys. Green is money. Those are soft defenses. And he's got, moving forward, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 easy matchups. And only 5. 3 of those being decent defenses, 2 of them being good. All right, this guy, especially come championship time, is going to win you leagues. 100%. Right now is the time to buy low, because as soon as he starts putting up numbers again, nobody's going to want to get him off their roster. Everybody's going to see him for exactly what he is. He's a top 3 quarterback. He's going to get you rushing touchdowns. Normally you get about 6 points for those instead of 4 for a passing touchdown. You get what normally you get 20, 25 yards per point passing. Just Jalen Hurts is exactly where you want to be. He's exactly who you want to get. And if you wait too long, you're not going to be able to get him. You're not going to be able to trade for him. So I would trade for him this week before the games play. Now, coming back to Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts is my sneaky little personal bold prediction. And I know a lot of people are going to, oh, he's a bust. He's a bust. He's not worth it. It's never going to work. He's been there for a few years. He's not putting up those numbers. He absolutely can. He absolutely can, and I'll tell you why. The tight end position this year, it's not doing great. A lot of people are hurting for a good tight end, and I think Kyle Pitts is going to be one of the best. The reason that I think that, besides his freak athleticism, is the offense that he's in. Now, what I've been seeing is that offense is getting better and better every week. The reason that it's getting better and better every week is because Kirk Cousins is in his first year there. He just got traded to the Atlanta Falcons from the Vikings. You got to give the guy a minute to settle in, right? I saw an interview where he was saying his anticipation, his comfortability in this offense is growing. It's growing, and he's starting to throw, and it looks like it's growing. And I'm going to make a comparison that a lot of people might light me up over, but it's all right. It's all right. That's kind of why I wanted to do this, is because I'm seeing trends, and I want to help you guys see them too before the rest of your league does, so you can take advantage of these trends. Now, Drake London's going to be all right. Drake London's been all right. I drafted him. He's produced for me just fine. He's doing better and better all the time. I'm very comfortable where I'm sitting with Drake London, especially where I drafted him this year. I got him, I think, in the 4th round. I'm pretty sure I picked him up in the 4th round. I think Atlanta's offense is going to take off like the Lions. Oh, I know. That's what people are going to light me up over. Go ahead. Go right ahead. I think I'm right. The reason that I think I'm right is Kirk Cousins is not a bad quarterback, and he's got some real weapons. He's got Drake London. He's got Kyle Pitts. He's got Bijan Robinson. And now they all have him. He's not Spencer Rattler. This guy can deliver a ball. He helped make Stephon Diggs before he went to Buffalo. Make no mistake about it. Kirk Cousins has been around since RG3 was drafted. He was drafted in the same draft by the same team. And he took that job. A lot of that's due to injury, but it's because he is a real good quarterback. No matter what you want to say about it, he is an upper side quarterback and always has been. So people like Drake London, they're going to benefit from that. He's getting comfortable. He's finding that connection. He's getting the connection with his receivers. Kyle Pitts, he's going to benefit from that. He's going to be able to find Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts is going to be able to get loose. The guy is a freak. That's why he was drafted where he was drafted. I think he runs like a 4.3 something 40. It's insane. And he's 6'5". He's got a catch radius the size of the moon. Bijan Robinson. Now, you're starting to see him produce. He just put up 24 points last week. You think that's a coincidence? No, absolutely not, because the pass game is a real threat now. He's getting comfortable. He's finding his receivers. He put up a 500-yard game this season. Who else has done that? I don't think anybody. I don't think there's a single other quarterback besides Kirk Cousins that's got over 500 yards in a game this year. And you also got, what's interesting is Tyler Algier. Now, all these things put together, that's a whole lot of things for defenses to have to cover. When you've got Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier in the backfield. And it reminds me a little bit of Jahmyr Gibbs, another running back that was drafted in the 1st round, in the same draft as Bijan Robinson. He's producing, ain't he? David Montgomery. Yeah, I'm comparing him to the Lions. I know. I'm sure people don't like that. I don't care. See what I'm saying. Understand what I'm saying. Take advantage of it. Go get Atlanta players. Go get Atlanta players. Just like when Tua comes back, you want to get Miami players. It's because those guys are going to produce with that quarterback on the field. Maybe not with the other ones. Maybe they haven't with other ones. They can't with other ones. They can with these guys. And these guys are going to win you leagues. Absolutely. But those were kind of my bold predictions. I got a couple others, a little bit. The rookie quarterbacks this year, Caleb Williams and Drake May. Now, Caleb Williams has been picking up steam. DeAndre Swift has been helping with that. But he's getting more comfortable. He's settling in as an NFL quarterback now. He's also got rushing upside. He's throwing for a couple of 300-yard games, multiple touchdowns, and less picks. And he is starting to become a viable quarterback to play in fantasy. You can do worse for sure. The other one being Drake May. Now, we have a very small sample size on him, but I think Drake May came out, and even though he turned over the ball twice, he put up 27 points, something like that. He's got rushing upside. He's got a good arm. He seems to be finding the receivers just fine. Keep an eye on him. If he can keep producing like that, I think you got to pick him up. I think you got to see what he's going to develop into, because he's only going to get better as the year goes. So if you're hurting for quarterbacks, maybe roster those guys. That's what I got to say about it. So let's see. What can we do here? Looking in the comments. All right, we got some hellos, some hays. How's my team doing? I don't know. I'm not so sure. How many people? Nobody's really asking any questions. That's fine. It's my first live stream, so wonder how many people even new or even showing up. That's fine. I just wanted to really get in here and try and get my predictions out. I'm going to be coming back. We'll see if I'm right. I'm definitely going to be following this up. I'm going to be doing more live streams. If you do like what we're doing here, I've also got a series going on with my fantasy football league. It's the Mahomies League, presented to you by Cowboys on the Rocks. Yours truly, our fantasy football league that is way too serious about things. We're basically making it into a YouTube series, and we're having fun with it. We're trying to bring you guys good content. We're starting to figure out how to work together with it, and we're really excited to bring it to you. I've already got one of those in there. If you want to go ahead and check out my videos, I've got it in the playlist, the Mahomies League, and we've got week 6. Week 7 will drop on Tuesday of next week, where we'll be going over all the stuff that happened this week, like what happened with the Adams trade, what happened with the Cooper trade, the other trades that are going on, kind of sneaky behind the scenes, and free agent pickups, just about everything. So go ahead, give us a view, and thank you very much for your time. It's been about half an hour, and we're not really picking up steam here, so I think we're going to go ahead and call it good. And thank you very much. This has been excellent, and I'm out. Check out Cowboys on the Rocks for more content. I'm going to keep bringing it to you. We absolutely love you. This has always been a dream of mine, so it's nice to be able to do it. Have a great night.